I know we've said this and you've heard this, but share is the most important part of your writer's workshop because you want them to be able to, one, feel like real authors, that they're getting to share their information. But also, the reason, I tell my kids this every time, the reason why we share is because you're helping develop another person's story. So they may hear you say something that they really want to try in their own, and then they're going to try it in their own writing. That's the reason why we read mentor text. I want my students to feel like they can take away something from Julie Brinklow's Fireflies and try it in their own writing. So whatever they hear, they may want to do, from a student share, they may want to try it in their own. So sharing is so important. But guess what? Sally Sue is going to feel like she needs to share every single day, and she is just the best student in the classroom, and you should not ignore her. Guess what? Sally Sue cannot share every day. You need to set that tone quick in your classroom. You're going to call on 2 or 3 students to share what they've written that day, and that is it. You're going to make it a list of those students that have shared for the week, and you will not go back to them. Or you can draw sticks however you want. Bridget Powell actually had little coupons. They were sharing coupons, and she had 3. And as she was conferencing with the kids, if she saw one of the students doing something that they really liked, she would give them a coupon. And so that's how I picked my students to share, is if they were writing with lots of good dialogue or really strong action, or their setting is perfect. I imagined myself there. Those were the students that I picked. Then there's going to be someone that's not writing very well, but you're going to push them forward. You're going to say, ooh, you're doing such a great job. I want you to share that anyway. Find something positive to say about all of their writing, and that way they feel really good about sharing. And we're going to get more into conferencing in the next session on how to do that, but make sure that you really are allowing everyone to share. So who would be so graciously to be, I'll call on one today because of time, that would be so graciously share what they had written in like 2 minutes. And it could just seriously be 1 sentence. Go for it. Thank you.
Last summer I went to Padre Island, Texas with my sister and a friend. Every morning my sister would wake us up to go for a walk on the beach. We always got up just before the sun came up so we could take a picture of the sun rising.
Oh, beautiful. Let's give her a little round of applause. Nice job. Okay, now through share, there's something that you need to make sure that you're doing. You're going to train the kids on how to give a compliment and a suggestion. So for one, we're going to call on a student, and practice it a lot. Matter of fact, the first month of school, you may be the only one to give the compliment and a suggestion. You're going to have kids cry because someone said that they need to do something differently in their writing. And you need to set the tone that we give suggestions just to help grow you as a writer. We are not condemning you for however you write. We're not criticizing your writing. Our job, it's just a suggestion. Our job is to make sure as a class that we grow you to make your writing better. So we are not growing the writing, we are growing the writer. Because whatever we train that writer to do, they will do it in all their other writing pieces. If I sat down and I just edited that piece and fixed all the capitalizations and did all of it, it is not my writing, or it's not that child's writing anymore, it's mine. I'm not going to give that child a grade on my writing. I'm going to give that child a grade, and I'm going to use the rubric based on what that child produced in Writer's Workshop. So, and I got pretty ugly during the summer, and I said I would come and rip that red pen out of your hand if I saw you with it editing a student's writing. Don't do it. Because I have set, and I've had someone rip my writing apart before, and it was detrimental. It made me not ever want to write again. And we do not want to hurt these little babies' feelings to the point where they're not going to write for us ever again. So don't do that. The units will teach you how to teach the students to do all that process on their own and have ownership of it.
Grammar and editing and all those things that we do want to jump in and fix. There's places for that in the units, I promise. So
Yes, there are.
it's hard to not do that.
So we want to give a compliment. For one, I'm going to give a compliment. I loved your whole story about, you know, getting up early in the morning and able to go walk to see the sunset go on. And so she did a wonderful job. I felt like I was walking on the beach with her on Padre Island. A suggestion would possibly be, is like, you've done a great job. I can't wait to read more. Will you continue that story and write even more? It could be, that could be just the quick suggestion. Don't give it up. Just keep adding to it. Now, if it was one of those that it was just like, I walked the beach with my sister, you know, it'd probably be, the suggestion would be, oh, what did it look like? How did the sand feel on your toes? Prompt them. It's okay to prompt them in what you're wanting to come out of their writing. So always make sure and share, compliment, suggestion. You be the trainer. Now let's talk about their ownership. If I'm giving a suggestion, I want them to take ownership of that suggestion, and I would remind them, hey, will you write that off to the side, something that I'm wanting you to try today? Just jot that off to the side of your notebook, that way you don't forget to go back and do that. So we're wanting to put that ownership onto them. We are building, growing writers. We want them to have that ownership. So I always have them jot down whatever suggestion was made. They could have Post-it notes around them, that they jot the idea down on a Post-it note and stick it on there, however you want to do that. But make sure that they know what they're going to be working on next. Because you don't want to go and have that conference says, well, what are you working on today? I don't know. I mean, then it's like, well, let me look back. You know, we said we were going to be working on, you know, adding some more detail to your story. How have you been doing that? So just make sure that they know exactly what they should be working on. So that basically gets through our share.